Hello and welcome to season 2 of the Climbing Destinations podcast and the first episode. I'm Amit, your host, and thank you so much for being here. So, before we start, I think one of the things that you can learn from talking to climbers and listening to the podcast, and I'm so happy about that, is that many times climbing is way more than just climbing. Obviously, we know it's a way of life for many of us, and also it can create a lots of opportunities for many people and for many rural places around the world. And this connects beautifully to this episode we have today. So today we have a very special episode with a very special guest. Excited about having Anna Hazelnut on the show. Anna is a pro climber and a YouTuber producing some really amazing content. In this episode, we explore the climbing in northern Thailand, in a small village that's called Si Chompou, and a bouldering area nearby that's already kind of famous called Kohn Kaen. Anna, together with Tom Randall of Lattice Training, recently had a trip there to the area to help develop and promote it. And actually, she already has some 3 published YouTube videos about their really amazing and fun trip. So make sure to check them out. A lot of the conversation was about the area itself, the documentary Anna is preparing about the trip, and about the sustainable tourism that climbing can create in this rural and beautiful area. We talked also about the styles of climbing, of course, and what the area has to offer. And it got me so psyched to go and explore. Some specific routes, like Pretty in Pink is the one that she and Tom bolted, looks like literally one of the most beautiful and aesthetic routes I've ever seen. And yeah, the area just looks mind-blowing and so beautiful, and it's so cool to know that Thailand has way more climbing and development than the known and the famous ones in the south, Tonsai and Krabi and all that area. Towards the end of the episode, we also got to speak about the practicalities of when to go and what to eat and so on, where to stay, as always. Surely everything will be in the show notes, as always, on the website, climbingdestinationspodcast.com. Make sure to follow the Instagram as well, as some info will be there as well. Now, before we start, 2 awesome collaborations we have. You can see them in the website. One is for those of you who are interested in training for climbing. Make sure you check out the ClimbingPill.com. It's a great training for climbing app. I'm using it for a while and I'm loving it, feeling the improvement. So make sure to check it out. If you write CDP24 on checkout, you'd get 20% off your first month of training. And if you need some gear, make sure to also in the website link for the mountain hardware, and you get some changing discounts over there. So that's that. I really hope you're gonna enjoy this one. I think it was really beautiful episode. I really enjoyed this conversation with Anna. It was so casual and fun, and have fun listening to it, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye for now. Hello, Anna.
Hi.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm sitting outside at Smith Rock. It's really good right now. I love life. How are you?
Yeah, also pretty good. Just literally finished a fingerboard session.
Oh, really?
And just like came straight to this.
Amazing.
But good. Better to be outside, but also nice here.
Yeah, I feel so lucky to be able to climb outside, but fingerboarding's great. I can't wait to actually get back to that, to get back to training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So thank you for coming. I'm really excited, and for you being here, and for we're speaking about a really interesting place for me. So thanks for that. And before we like dive deep and stuff, can you just give us introduction? Like not much necessary because people know you, I guess, but like who you are and what do you do in life and stuff like this, and your yeah.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm super excited to chat today. And yeah, my name's Anna. On Instagram and YouTube, you can find me at Anna Hazelnut. And right now, I am pretty much just climbing and creating content, which is a bit of the dream. I've taken a lot of years to try to get here, and I feel like I've finally arrived where I get to climb a lot of the time and then make videos that I'm really passionate about and excited about. So I have nothing to complain about. Like I'm really loving life at the moment. Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah, I've been following your content for a while, for a long while, and I love it.
Thank you so
So really,
much.
on a personal note, like regardless to the podcast and anything, it's like, yeah, you're doing some really like I love it. It's awesome.
Oh my gosh. Thank you
So
so much for
yeah,
saying that. I'm having
yeah,
so much
yeah,
fun with
yeah,
it. So I love that
yeah.
people
You
can also like it and have fun with that. Yeah.
yeah, you can see the passion, and you can see like you are talented. Like I love how it follows your way of climbing, like from way back,
Yeah.
and now you're like crushing it, which is crazy, like grades wise, but also like tread and like scary stuff. And yeah, it's amazing.
Thank you.
And like the film, the cinematography is
I
also
know.
skyrocketing. So it's
Thank
like
you.
it's amazing.
Thank you
Well
so
done.
much. Yeah, it's really cool because like you can just go back on my YouTube or Instagram all the way back to when I started and you'll see like, the grades I was climbing, the production value, like I don't know, it's still me, but I've just been able to like what I tell my friends is that I was like given like small opportunities along the way because I was like creating maybe like funny memes and stuff and then I took those opportunities to try to get stronger and like better production and I've just kind of been running with it. I feel like I'm, getting away with it. I'm like I started not as a pro climber, right? And then I just the more time and sponsors I get, the more time I can put into climbing. So I'm like, why wouldn't I take this opportunity to try to go pro? So I've just like the last few years is just kind of like working less, climbing more, and yeah, running with the opportunity. It's been really exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah, just why not, right? Why not
amazing.
try?
Yeah, 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 and you're doing it. It's amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, so congrats.
Thanks.
Yeah, really, really awesome. Okay, so a few more things like this. So now you are in Smith Rock, which is really cool.
Mhm.
And can we speak about just so like people? I always ask this question because people can get like an understanding of the person's climbing vibe. So,
Mhm.
what is your favorite climbing style? And
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I love that. Yeah. So Smith Rock is one of my favorite places ever because it's essentially the land of vertical technical climbing. It is just from slabs to like just off vert, you can and crimps and pockets. You could just find any grade in these styles. And for me, like my best days out here, I like wake up early. Well, early for me. I don't wake up super early. I lived in like it's only been 3 years and like rubbed off on me. I
yeah,
sleep in, it's okay. But I wake up early for me and I go climbing and I do a lot of like just like volume on a bunch of like perfect crimpy technical lines and then at the end of the day I'll
wow,
usually pick a project or something a little harder and I'll have a siesta in the middle of the day too. Yeah,
nice,
it's like the perfect day for me. Yeah.
amazing. Okay, cool. But you like a lot of like, do you enjoy the scary stuff, or you kind of push yourself to do
That's a
it?
good question.
For people that don't know, doesn't follow you, you should. But like you are, I would say, kind of famous in the last few years for doing like really scary and dangerous
Yeah.
tread routes. So like, yeah, how's that?
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I like chase the danger or the fear. That's not something that like excites me necessarily. What I do like is the climbing movement and a lot of slabs, especially if they're trad, and you need to place gear, they're going to be really dangerous and run out because the holds, there aren't many places to place gear. So I think what I like to say is I really like the movement, and if I become enamored with a climb, if I love a climb, then I will work through the mental state in order to get to the place where I can climb it, even if it's dangerous. And the same goes for Smith. If you don't know Smith Rock in Central Oregon, it's famously scary, famously run out. Like I've done some of the
Okay.
more like rated R sport climbs that just like,
Oh,
you
wow.
know, yeah, there's some like pretty famous dangerous climbs here. And again, like if I fall in love with the climb, I'll go through the mental steps to prepare myself, and then I'll just like perform. But I wouldn't say I would prefer more bolts and more gear positions when I'm trad climbing. It just doesn't happen to work that way with the style that I like with slab and vert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. I love that.
Hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So, yeah, one last question I
Mhm.
forgot. I should have been like before,
Okay,
but now
well,
it's okay.
rewind.
So, yeah, rewind. Before we're going to Thailand.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to also in the YouTube and all of that, to congratulate you for having 100K.
Thank
But
you.
actually, I like opened your YouTube before we started and looked at other stuff, and I actually saw it's already at 150,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's amazing.
Yeah, I think I hit 100K like 2 months ago or something like that. 3 months,
Yeah,
or not so long ago. And now I'm already at 150, which is, I don't know why. It's just happening and I'm letting it happen. Um, yeah, thank you so much. That means a lot.
how does that feel
It
to have like,
it's I don't it's kind of hard to conceptualize because I don't really know
yeah,
what that number looks like. Like if you said 100 people were watching my video and put like 100 people in a room to watch a video, that's pretty full on. That's a lot of people. So I couldn't imagine what like 100,000 people watching a video would look like. It's just I think it's like beyond what I can even imagine, and I'm so grateful for it. And I'm like constantly appreciative of all my viewers and like anyone who leaves a comment or like engages with it in some way and keeps social media social. I'm really grateful for that as well. Yeah, I mean, like I'm obviously so excited. It's just like hard to even understand, and I couldn't pretend to understand even. I'm just happy and
yeah,
grateful. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I can imagine. And it really, you pass it through, like you can really see you are. I think that's why it grew so much as well, because you're genuine,
Thank you.
you're honest, and you can see it in your videos. So
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
well done
Yeah.
for that. And sure, and yeah, I imagine you said that, so I imagine like the stadium here of Barcelona full with 100,000 people.
Right.
So imagine that, watching everyone your videos. That would be fun.
It's wild. Yeah. It's
It's
like I
wild.
can't like how do you even pretend to understand what impact that has, and like so many
Yeah,
people watching
yeah.
my channel. It's yeah, I'm trying to
Mhm.
I guess I'm trying to treat it with grace as well because now I have more eyes on me. So I'm like, okay, what kind of messages can I be sending and spreading? What kind of
Yeah,
positivity? So it does make it like I do think about it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm doing the same thing. Like I am like thinking and being intentional about what I do,
yeah.
and like intentionally hiring more women and like working with women primarily these days. And just like, I don't know, doing like little things to just be intentional with my
Mm,
channel rather than just be like, okay, whatever, like, just like
yeah,
continuing on the same path. So I think it does push me to grow.
yeah, yeah. That's amazing. Well done.
Thanks.
And I'm sure you're gonna like keep on crushing it for
Thank
sure.
you.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that like intro.
Mhm.
So I'm really excited about Thailand and talking to you for a couple of reasons. And yeah, I'll just tell you. So first of all, Thailand is, I think, probably my favorite country in the world. Like I've been to the other side, to Tonsai and all that,
Yes. Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
the south of Thailand for many times and for a long time. I just love the people. I love the country. It's amazing. And another thing I love, which is like you see here in the podcast, it's coming back every time, and it's like really big passion of mine is like climbing areas that are being developed,
Yeah.
and not only that, but that it supports a bigger cause, like like a sustainable tourism and stuff like that. And I've always, since I started climbing, like I always, it drew me, it's like, because you can see places that, like, look at Kalymnos, for example, in Greece. You have Greece that had a really bad crisis, economical crisis, and Kalymnos is like thriving and stuff like that. So those are like the reasons that I'm super excited. And now that that I said that, let's I'll let you talk more.
Okay.
And so so how can you tell us, like, what are we talking about? And start, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I also just want to say that Thailand is also one of my favorite countries. It's what actually started me on this whole path, I actually think, because when I was 19, a friend of mine, like a friend I had lost touch with, was at the Bishop like supermarket. We were both shopping and we ran into each other. I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so long. Like, how's it going? And she was like, this is really wild, but I have an extra ticket to Thailand. Do you want to go?
No way.
So I was 19. Of course, I didn't I was like, I can't afford, like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I would love to, but I can't afford it. And she's like, oh, no, like it's paid for. Like, all you'd have to do is pay for like everything that happens in Thailand, which for me, I was like, I can figure this out. I'll figure that out. And so I got flown. I got flown there. And it was like the first time I was out of the country, aside from Mexico. I have family in Mexico, though, so I feel like that's a little different. Because my mom's from Mexico. So I was like, okay, this is kind of the first time I'm like on my own, like being flown out to somewhere totally different alphabet, like culture shock, right? And I completely fell in love with Thailand and the culture, the people. We didn't really know how to, I didn't start sport climbing really till like 4 years ago, but we did a few sport climbs, obviously, when we were in Thailand, because that's what you're supposed to do. So I just remember being like, oh my gosh, I'm so out of my depths, but this is something I really want to do. And like ever since then, I basically changed my life to like be travel oriented and to be like, where can I go? Like, where's next? And that summer, I packed my van and went to Canada, like when I was also still 19. Wow. And I got the bug, and I really kind of attribute it to a lot of what happened in my life. I wouldn't have been doing what I'm doing without like that Thailand experience. Yeah. So that's why it was really special when I got a random DM on Instagram from he is a local to Kohn Kaen, and he messaged, I think, probably quite a few, maybe like professional climbers that he follows, to be like, hey, we're doing this development project. We could really use, anyone, anything. Like, do you want to do like, do you want to come and do a photo shoot or something? Anything. Like, are you interested in coming to Thailand? And I don't even look at like my DMs that much because it's so overwhelming. But this one I happened to look at, like, so lucky, right? Really serendipitous. And then I actually sent it to Tom, and I was like, hey, like, I got this message. I don't know if it's like spam or not, but wouldn't that be cool to go to Thailand? Like, even if this isn't real, like, what if we just went to Thailand and then this thing was real and we both just ended up committing to this trip, and the rest is kind of history. I was just going to go and do a photo shoot or something. Like, we were just going to do publicity and try to get more eyes on Kohn Kaen climbing, like Si Chompou, and the development happening there. And it just kind of like talking to over the phone, like over the course of a few months, actually, like getting sponsorship funding and for the development side of the trip. And then deciding like, oh, maybe we should make a video. I'm like, I can put a video on my YouTube. And like, what if we do a series? What if we do a documentary? And it was just so clear to me by the time I got there, this was so much bigger than anything I had anticipated. It was just so magical. Is there anything else that you want me to talk about? I don't know, I just kept talking, but that's kind of the setup of the trip.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah. Okay, so this is how it pretty much like came out to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then how long have you been there? And
so the trip was whirlwind. It was 2 weeks, but we did so much in these 2 weeks. We flew into Bangkok. We did like a meet and greet at Stone Goat, which is a climbing gym there, and then we were whisked away to Kohn Kaen, and then we were like, okay, let's climb in Si Chompou, which is one of the first sport crags that was developed there. And we got to like meet everyone. There was a welcome ceremony for us, and had just planned like this entire trip with like an itinerary, right? We kind of didn't even know what we were getting into. I actually didn't even realize the grand scheme of everything until I was on the bus on the way to Khon Kaen talking to O in person. And he was like, yeah, like we're going to meet the government officials to try to legalize some of these areas that were closed down. And I was like, we're going to do what? And they were like, yeah, they're really interested to climb with you and to see like a woman climbing too, like a woman professional climber. And Tom, of course, like the government found out that you and Tom are like celebrity climbers and they want to meet you. And I'm just like, what?
Wow.
So he's like, so that's where we're going. And then we end up like meeting them and then climbing with them. And then like, of course, we start developing and finding new crags. And in Thailand, it's really beautiful. Like the welcome ceremony was so gorgeous. Like everyone in the village came together for it. There was like the girls put on a dance for us. We got like these bracelets that you'll see in all the videos, these cloth bracelets with the little knot in.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, it was so every woman
I wanted to ask. Yeah.
every woman in the town gets a string and they whisper like a wish into the knot and then they tie that onto your hand. So each one is one blessing from each woman in the village.
Oh, wow.
So, and then you keep them on, and as they
Beautiful.
like fall off, you know, as you wear them, they come true. So that's kind of like the tradition. And then we spoke to the monks to like kind of get their blessing to climb on the mountains, because there's a monk at the base of basically each mountain. So if you want to develop a crag, you have to get the blessing from the monks. And the monks were so excited. Like they love climbers, they love climbing. They're builders themselves, so they're always building into the mountains. And it was just like really cool to like see that, like that they were really excited that we were going to be like interacting with nature in a way that they felt was meditative. Yeah, it was just like a really beautiful trip, and the whole, it went by so fast. We took a little field trip to the Kohn Kaen Zoo bouldering area, which is literally in a zoo. Yeah, it's like there's animals there.
That's weird.
Yeah, and it's world class. It's really world class sandstone. And then yeah, we were bolting on the limestone back in Si Chompou. It was 2 weeks. Can you believe it? Like I felt like just so much happening, you know?
Yeah. It sounds, first of all, it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I watched the 3 videos.
Yay.
And they're awesome.
Thank you.
The only thing I wish, like they're so fun to watch that I wish they were longer.
I've been getting that a lot. And I like, recently I felt like I was like, oh, I don't want it to be too long, and so I made them shorter. I had more like I don't know, I should have made them longer, but I'm also kind of saving some of the good footage for the documentary. I didn't want to like double dip too much. So yeah, the 3 videos were totally random as well, because we were just going to do the documentary actually. And then I was like, well, we could do some short videos just to like get the ball rolling and get that publicity for the area sooner and more like just like right away. So those 3 videos kind of came in like last minute. It was just like, yeah, it was a whirlwind trip. I was doing like interviews with people for the documentary, and then I was planning these YouTube videos. Like I think maybe I would have liked a little more time, but but it was awesome.
But they are awesome. Yeah, they're really good. They're really fun to watch.
Thank you so much.
And so can you, you started a bit, so to understand the area that we're talking about. So like I know about Khon Kaen climbing for a while, you know, just I never been there, but I know about like a bit because searching Thailand and like dreaming of moving there. It will happen at some point.
I hope so.
But yeah, so where is it? So we have Khon Kaen, which is a bit, you can say, northern Thailand,
like northeast,
and then Si Chompou is northeast. Yeah. And Si Chompou is not the same area.
No,
or is it?
It's close though. It's really close. It's not exactly the same area. It's even different rock. Like that's the coolest thing. It's limestone. It's not sandstone. I don't know. I was blown away by the rock diversity in Thailand. You just like have everything there, you know, like within a 1-hour radius. Yeah.
Yeah, I had no idea. Like I knew about Khon Kaen that it's sandstone, but that's like it's crazy. Like for me, Thailand is limestone completely.
Yeah, the sandstone was also amazing and really good quality too. You know, I felt like I was climbing at a gym.
Yeah.
It was, you know, like really good climbing.
It looks amazing. So how far is it from like Khon Kaen to Si Chompou?
Let me look.
For example.
Let me see.
About.
I thought maybe like an hour, but I'm not like super confident in that. Let's go Si Chompou.
And And like the project was, or the idea was to develop or to talk about both, or like more Si Chompou, or
Yeah,
what was
so the project was, oh wait, here it is. Okay, Kohn Kaen Si. Sorry. I'm like, I got it. Okay, it is 2 hours away. I thought maybe I was like, it's like an hour, but
okay.
maybe I fell asleep. I was in the back of the car. I was just like listening to an audiobook and I just fell asleep. Like I was like an hour.
It went by fast.
um oh sorry, what did you say?
Yeah. So
My head was like
2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours is good. But yeah, so originally it's like the project of the documentary, let's say, which is, I guess, like why you initially were thinking about going
yeah,
there. Is it specifically to Si Chompou or the whole area, like Khon Kaen as well, or?
specifically to Si Chompou. Yeah, we were
Okay.
gonna definitely like
So
build up the
yeah.
sport development. Yeah, sport crags there.
Okay, so that's really cool because I never heard of about that place before.
That's what was cool about it too. I mean, like there's expansive rock, there's so many crags. Like we were just like riding around being like that cliff looks cool. Like let's see, it was, oh man, what a cool experience, like bushwhacking some trails, and getting really excited about the sport climbing. Because I think the whole point of the documentary is for that area specifically, because um that's where the ecotourism would most benefit. And we actually donated to the school there, and we took the school kids out climbing as well. We had a day where we took the whole village out, and they their classroom was outside, and we belayed them and we showed them climbing in their backyard, which was also like amazing. So the whole documentary is kind of based on that village, and they were really excited to have us there, working on this with them.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. So what is there today in terms of climbing in Si Chompou?
Yeah, there's like hundreds of climbs there. I mean, they've been developing there for years. Like it's a wonderland of rock. We just added in a few, like a drop in the bucket compared to what they have. We were just kind of there for publicity and maybe adding something more difficult. And we didn't even really, did we find something too hard? I think we mainly stuck to like moderates because the climbing was just so good. I think the first video in my series focuses on a climb called Pretty in Pink, which is actually
It's so
it's
amazing.
it's pink
Yeah.
limestone, and Si Chompou in Thai means pink, right? So it's like
Yeah.
I thought it was really cute. It's like an homage to the town, and it's like these perfect bullet like limestone crimps on pink rock, and it's like the only problem with it was that it wasn't longer. I'm like I could just like I want to climb more of this. And then on that same vein, like the project kind of is trying to show the government that okay, look, like the mountains we can create, yeah, like a more sustainable way to boost economy rather than like, let's say alternatives such as destroying the mountains, which is an alternative of it,
Yes.
right? So as like a way to preserve nature and like encourage a lot of, a lot of good, right? Climbing brings a lot of good to the community. Climbing teaches a lot, like the school kids coming out and like learning perseverance. Like there's just a lot to be gained that's not just economical. And there are huge cliffs, like huge cliffs for like with
Really?
multi-pitching potential, like amazing limestone, but it's the government's like, no, I think we want to do something else with this. Like maybe,
No.
yeah. So we're like, well, what if we show you that, you know, this is something that can be sustainable, and like the infrastructure is there too. Like there's like resorts and like little bodega thing, like little huts to live in already. Like they're already set up for tourism. They just need the tourists and like the climbers. So it's kind of cool
Yeah.
that like okay, maybe we get the ball rolling and we see if we can legalize the climbing here and like see what amazing climbs there are. Like I would love to go back and build to multi-pitch. Like how rad would that
Wow.
be on like this awesome stone cliff? Yeah, and the pictures from this place are just incredible. So there's all this potential, and our mini project was just like, look, we have all these like single pitch crags that are already here, you're already allowed to climb on them. It's already there. But there's just so much more that can happen if we start going here. Yeah. I can like
Yeah.
see the
Wow.
glisten in your eyes.
Yeah.
You're like, there's what? I'm like, I really want to like show you a picture too. We could like describe it
Wow.
if I find it really quick here
Uh,
of like this
that's
multi-pitch
funny.
cliff.
Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
perfect climbing. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah,
Right.
it's so amazing.
Yeah.
Because also I feel like you have the Southeast Asia kind of like classic circuit, where
Yeah.
everyone go not people go. So it's Tonsai
Yep.
in the south of Thailand, and then there's like Vietnam and Laos and China or
Yeah.
something, and it's like eight spots. And yeah, and I can't believe there are already like hundreds of routes there.
Right. There's so many. They've been working so hard for like years. Sorry, I'm like really close to finding this picture. I think you're just gonna
Yeah,
fall in
yeah.
love with it. But yeah,
I wanna.
there's already like a bunch of crags, a bunch of different styles of climbing there, and it's like ready for people to visit. It's not like this thing that we were just starting. Like we came
Yeah.
into it like
Wow.
they've been developing there for years. Oh, here we go.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Let me turn my phone thing like up. Okay. So
Oh
a cliff
wow.
there. And this is a
Yes,
rice field.
that looks like a small Yosemite or
Yeah.
something.
And then
Not even
do
small.
you see like
Like the
there's already like the triangle houses, like there's already places to stay for tourists,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and there's like
Yeah.
restaurants and stuff, and like it's just like
Yeah.
there's these big limestone cliffs in the background.
Wow.
Right? I mean, like who would
So
have
beautiful.
thunk? It's yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. It's just like forever, you know?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And those big cliffs are not bolted
Not yet.
yet.
No, no.
Wow. Wow. Well, okay. So, about the climbing that there is now. So first of all, yeah, like I put always in the show notes the stuff that we're talking about.
Mhm.
So there will be links to all of your whatever you're doing,
Amazing.
and and specifically, I wanted to say about the Pretty in Pink, the route that you and Tom bolted, which is it looks so sick. It looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I love the story around it. So for everyone listening, go watch it. Like, yeah, it looks amazing route, and I will climb it one day. So how is the style? Like, yeah, you were mentioning. Like, did you how much did you get to climb? That's what I'm trying to
Oh
ask.
yeah.
Like, and really see around all the area.
Yeah, we had a few days of just climbing and getting to know the area, the rock, and climbing some of the classics. So that was kind of my last video that I put. That was actually the first video we did, was just like, oh, we're just gonna have a day cragging and try a bunch of climbs. And the climbs that I was gravitating to were like crimpy and slabby and vert as well. But there's definitely, I mean, there's caves there, right? It's not like it's only that style. But I found it really, really nice. And there's some hard climbs too, like really hard. Yeah, it's not just
Yeah.
like easy climbing. Yeah.
Mm. So pretty much, like for everyone,
Mhm.
like for the climbing holiday
Yeah.
people, for the
Yeah.
climbing vacation, yeah, you have like from the
Yeah.
fives to
From fives. Oh yeah,
to
I've got it. Oh, I have to convert in my head. Okay, from
yeah, sorry.
no, that's okay. Fives to eights. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Nailed it.
we got yeah, but it's okay. I can't do the US one. Like
Yeah.
it's too hard.
I like
Yeah,
learned actually in Europe and the UK, so
for sure.
I actually had that in my head at first, but then now I'm climbing here and now I have the other grades in my head. So it's just
Yeah.
like I can't like it's hard to it's hard to convert
It's
them
hard.
still.
Okay, so yeah, all grades,
Mhm.
all styles.
Yeah.
Can you share a bit about your favorite sector or route?
Yeah. I mean, I guess the obvious one was the Pretty in Pink one that Tom and I climbed, but like aside from that, there was, and this is actually in the last video as well, there was this like really pretty 7B plus kind of climb. Um, oh no, you know what? It's another route we put up actually. I'll say like
Tell
I
me.
liked the classics that they had there. They were really, really fun, but there was something special about like bolting a climb and then like figuring out the beta and then doing it, which was
Yeah,
just like for me, it just
yeah.
added to the experience. But there was this climb that had like a tricky, stemmy, like start, like it was very like technical, and then it went into like a knee bar, which was awesome. And then you like climb this flake, and then you just jug out for the last half of the climb. It's just like a victory finish. Probably like
Mm.
7B-ish as well, 7B, 7B plus. And I just was so excited about the movement. And I was like, I can't believe like this is what we get to climb and do.
Wow.
Yeah, I just like it was. I really like whenever I can put in a knee bar because that's not the climbing I usually do. I'm usually here doing like really technical vertical climbing, and there's not knee bars for me to put in. But
Mhm.
there, I mean, you have 2-foot climbing, and you have different features that are more three-dimensional.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's would you say there, like from the videos I saw, there is really a lot of the like kind of gray limestone, which is like a lot of times is
Mhm.
like kind of crimpy
Yeah,
and face and technical, but there is also the other style of like southern Thailand, or like the big tufas and stalactites.
yeah. So there is, I didn't climb on them. Like in the caves, there's
Hmm.
more of that style. And I
Hmm.
know there was a group of us. So we like split up in our development groups. And of course, like I gravitated towards the vertical faces. Just like I felt like for my first development trip, I should like put my efforts where I felt the most confident. Cause I was like, oh, maybe this
Yeah.
is kind of what I know, so let me do that. But there's a group of the boys went over to the steep cave, and they were just like, yeah, like drilling in this 2-foot cave. It looked so gnarly, and there were bees everywhere. They had to like figure out what to do with,
Oh no.
yeah. And like it was like they were on like a
uh,
different quest. I felt like I was like,
oh no.
I was like over here on root climbing,
uh,
like having a really easy time bolting, and they're just like,
uh,
holding the drill. You could like imagine it, like aid
yeah,
climbing
yeah,
up this cave and just like drilling up, and it was just like really cool to see that as well. It was like a
yeah.
monumental effort, and that's at the honeycomb wall, or I think that's what we're calling it.
Honeycomb.
Yeah, because it had all the bees.
Okay.
There's yeah,
Yeah.
it had some bees. Yeah.
Nice. Wow. So there is also all styles of climbing,
Hmm.
which is also cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So in my mind, the trip now to northern Thailand for climbing would be like sometime whatever you got, and you could like combine Kohn Kaen bouldering with some sport climbing
Yeah.
in Si Chompou.
100%. That's what we did, and it was so fun. We did, I mean, obviously our focus was in Si Shampoo, but we did do a little like 2-day trip to the Konkan boulders, which was so fun. If I were to visit as a tourist, I would probably, yeah, I would do that. I would do like both destinations for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, those they look amazing. The boulders, they're like, have you been to Albarracin?
Yes.
Albarracin
Uh-huh.
in
Albarracin.
yeah. So they like, yeah,
You're like,
I
no,
never
no,
know
no,
how
never
to.
mind, Albarracin.
So have you've been?
Yeah.
So it's
It's
like
like
from the
that.
video, it kind of
Yeah.
reminded
It's
me, yeah,
totally like
which is
Albarracin.
insane.
100%. I was actually,
It's, it's insane.
yeah. I think I was like, this is just like somewhere. And I'm like, is it like Red Rock? And I'm like, not quite. It's not quite like Red Rock. I'm like, what is this like?
Mm.
It's like Albarracin. It's insane. I mean,
Oh, wow.
they it's so good. The climbs are so good. I mean, maybe you could tell on the video a little bit, but like that's just one little area in the zoo. And like there's
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah,
many other areas. We just are working on opening up another bouldering area as well
yeah.
there. So there's like, there's balls
Wow.
rolling. Yeah.
Amazing. And I loved how you showed the kids crushing. They are so strong, these guys. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, incredible. Actually, Bon Lu's here in Smith Rock. He just messaged me. He's like, "Do you want to climb
No
this
way.
weekend?" And I was like, "Oh." Yeah, so he's here. They're in America. That I'm like, their family took me out to dinner. I'm like, my Thai family is here. I have to go hang out with them. My friends are like, "What? Your Thai family?" I'm like, "Yes, they're here." Because Bon Lu's parents also came on the trip. Well, his mom, Minli, was there, and she was like, my mom too. She was like, "Okay, kids, all the kids," and I'm
Wow.
like, "Okay, that's me too." I'm like, I'm technically like in charge of this thing, but I also am like kind of the youngest here other than the kids. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, thanks. And I got sick and she got me medicine. I definitely like yeah.
Wow. Nice. It's cool that he's there now. You can go
Yeah,
climbing.
yeah. That was
Really cool.
so cool. I mean, he actually told he was like for the video, he's like, I'm actually 13. I was like, oh no, I thought you were 14. So he's even younger than what I even put like a little text note on the video because I was like, I'm so sorry. Like I got that wrong. I was just like, I almost couldn't believe it. I was like, are you sure you're only 13?
Yeah.
It's just like, and these kids also we were teaching them how to develop, and they're Thai local kids, and they're just, oh my gosh, names to look out for. It'll be really exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really cool. They have some, finally, like locals, all the always forever, like foreigners coming to Thailand and climb, and
That's
so that's really cool to see.
yeah, that's something that was really important to me as well. I was like, I want to make sure this is like it's not like Tom and I were like, we want to go here and develop. It was like we were invited, and like we're working with an international team, but also like the local kids are coming, and there's local climbers. The local invited us. I just felt like it was really important that the community be the one leading the pack, and I'm just like offering my services, as like a filmmaker and someone who has a platform, just to like be of service to them. I'm like, look, like I'm so happy to be here, and I just want to make sure like whatever I do is like positive and what you want. So I was like really like aware of that the whole time, and it was so cool, yeah, to climb with the local kids and even take the local kids
Yeah,
of the town specifically climbing, because
yeah,
you're especially, oh my gosh, all the little girls too, they were like, oh my gosh, because me and Mimi's also Thai, she climbs, and we were like climbing, and I don't know if they like, it seems like something that was inspiring for them to see that like, oh, I can also do
for
these
sure,
things.
for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even like one of like some, there were constant questions like, oh, like you're a professional climber and a woman, and I'm like, yeah, like that's right, and like not, they weren't saying it in a mean way. It was just kind of like a like
no, yeah,
processing that information, because it is
not
different.
knowing, yeah,
Yeah. And they were really excited. Like whenever they said it, they're like, this is amazing. Like I didn't even think that was possible. And it's like, and I know it sounds weird
wow,
coming from like maybe a more Eurocentric and American centric,
yeah,
thought, like mindset, but like, it is something like impactful, I think, to mention.
definitely,
Yeah.
yeah. It connects like really nice with the last episode that I did with Alita,
Mm,
Alita Contreras.
yeah.
So she's just about to release her part of being in a movie, Guerreras,
Guerreras.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, warriors. And basically, the whole episode we were talking about how, yeah, like the impact she has and other pro Latina climbers. That's the movie.
Yeah. I
About,
might be in it.
yeah.
I don't know if they're using my
Okay,
snippets,
so
because
so
yeah, so
so you
I'm like,
know,
I might be
man.
a part of it. I haven't like, yeah, I don't, but because
Okay,
it's because
no, that's
I'm
funny.
Latina, but like I'm like very American. I'm like, my dad's white, my mom's Mexican. So like, like it's hard for me sometimes to like identify with one or the other, and like
Yeah,
I speak Spanish but badly. Do you know what I mean? Like that's
yeah,
the,
yeah,
and I can understand it
yeah,
fluently, but like it's like I'm in that like middle ground of like I don't really
yeah,
feel like I can speak for Latinas, but at the same time, like I think representation goes a long way. So I try to like
definitely.
figure
Yeah,
that out, in the best way I can. And I try to speak more and more as much as I can. Like I think my Spanish is getting better in my adult years, but it's like, it's like talking to like a fifth grader. It's like it's I'm like constantly like computing.
it should. Yeah, if you come back to Spain, then it will go back like this,
I
or to
think
South
so.
America.
I think I'm
Yeah,
gonna go to Mexico in the winter, so I'm like excited for
nice.
that because I feel like it'll really, yeah,
Yeah,
it'll be nice.
nice. Yeah, so that's, I love that. Like, yeah, I think it's inspiring and it hits the spot in like those areas for, yeah, for girls to see pro climbers, women. Yeah, I think it's amazing. So, yeah, cool. Um, so, like about the documentary, what are we expecting? Like, what can you share a bit about that?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so nervous, if I'm being honest, to edit this because I feel like it's a chance for me to do something really impactful, and I want it to be really good. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself for it. But it's essentially the storyline of the village and ecotourism, and also a side quest of us, like this international group coming to develop. It's going to be mainly cultural, I want to say. Like it's not like my YouTube videos, which are like very me centric. It's not like that at all. I'm just kind of like a character in it, which for me is really refreshing and exciting as a challenge. And yeah, just talking a lot about kind of the topics we just talked about in the podcast, like ecotourism, like how this can change the lives of the people in the town in Thailand. And we actually interviewed like a taxi driver from Bangkok who has to live so far away from his family in Si Chompou because,
Oh, wow.
that's where the jobs are. So just kind of trying to bring jobs back so people don't have to leave home. Like that's kind of the cycle. People are leaving because there's no work. And the work is hard and it's not lucrative. So just like bringing awareness of that and like of the fact that this is what this town would really like appreciate. I was even talking to we interviewed like a rose gardener from the town as well, and how climbing tourism would impact her business and like her family, and how they could maybe stay and afford to send their kids to school. Because right now, if you want higher education, you have to find a job basically outside of the town. Like you have to go to Bangkok. And so we kind of like delve into a lot of these socioeconomic not problems, but like, like topics. And then we also interviewed a few government officials talking about the process to legalize and why it hasn't maybe been legalized, and what that could do for the youth in Thailand and like the problems they've been having. And it kind of, there's like a lot that's going on, and I'm really hoping I can do this story justice and also have some cool climbing in it. Like the whole point is also like, this is really cool climbing, and we're gonna like add
Yes.
that, into the documentary. So hopefully there's comic relief as far as Tom and I and the whole crew
Hmm.
goes, because the whole time we were laughing. Like it's a serious thing, but the
Yeah.
the thing is there's so much joy in climbing, and that's what climbing brings
Yeah.
to life, right? So like to show that as well, and just kind of full circle it of like, this is something really cool. This is how it could impact the future of this area and the families that live here. And yeah, that's kind of, I mean, it's a lot, right? It's kind of like a lot of different things. And I actually haven't even started editing it yet because I'm getting the translations back from like as we speak. Like I'm
Yeah.
like seeing messages pop up. He's like, here are some translations, because it's in Thai, right? So I'm like, okay, thanks,
Yeah.
thanks. So I'm like in my head, I'm like,
A
oh my God, like it's starting. I'm gonna start
lot of
editing
work.
this. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
so nervous. But yeah,
How long do you reckon the movie will be? The
that's a good
documentary.
question. Originally, I was like 20 minutes. I don't think it's gonna be 20 minutes. I think it's gonna be longer, but I would like it to be under 40. Like I think like
Okay.
30 would be a sweet spot, 30 something, just to like be able to go in depth in these conversations that I really want to like explore, but also to keep it fun and engaging. So I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
keep it as short as possible, but like with not cutting out any impertinent information. And that probably lands us around like a mini doc kind of length.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. And how the locals, so you were interviewing some people and stuff, like, do they appreciate it? Do they think it has a chance? How do
Yeah.
they look at it?
Yeah. They're really excited. I mean, everyone was just excited to have us. I mean, you've been to Thailand, their culture is a lot of like embracing embracing differences and embracing like people coming and sharing their culture. They're really proud of their culture. They have a beautiful culture. And yeah, a lot of it was like the bracelets that I had mentioned earlier too, they kind of signify that we're
Hmm.
part of the family. So if you see anyone with those
Mm.
bracelets, like basically it's a cue for them to know that we're part of the village, we're part of the family. So
Wow.
it was very much like, I mean, in my head it's like kind of similar to like South American culture. It's like just open arms, come in, like
Yeah.
please come and visit. They're just beautiful
Yeah.
people. My goodness, I freaking love
Yeah.
Thailand.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
I bet you can back up everything. I'm like, it's just, that's the vibe of the culture. They're just
It,
so excited.
it's
And
it's so good. Yeah.
mhm.
People are. Yeah. It's like if everywhere were like this, it would be such a nice world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
but yeah, it's amazing country. Um, yeah. And what I wanted to ask, I think, no, I wanted to say that I spent like about 6 months in Manikia, you know it, in Greece.
mhm.
It's like also a developing kind of area. So they had a Petzl rock trip there
Oh, yes, I do know what you're talking about.
to
I've seen that video. Yeah.
so so basically they have loads of rocks, and they saw Leonidia and they saw Kalymnos, and they were like, okay, we can do that as well. And it's exactly what you're describing, because it's like a tiny village, but in a rural area, remote, and really so beautiful, off the beaten track.
Yeah.
Like some tourists, but they are only Greeks, you know? So they were saying, and everyone are living, like the young, the youth, they go to university, they go to Athens, and they live.
Yeah.
And then they're like, but wait, we have such an amazing thing here. So, and actually it's starting to happen.
They're coming
that
back.
young kids, they're coming back, they're opening cafes, they are like, and yeah, it's like, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is, because in Thailand too, they see tonsai, they see krabi, you know, they see how like we can do that here too. Like we don't have to leave.
Exactly.
It's so beautiful, isn't it? Like that climbing can do this. Like
I have goosebumps. Like,
I have me too, but I might just be cold. It's a little cold outside. The sun's leaving my area. It's so, my gosh, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, that's definitely like, it's pretty similar. Like I know they have a different like story as well with the abandoned buildings and like the right, because they had the whole, I mean, is it mining? Yeah. Yeah, but it's just like, yeah, that video kind of inspired me to keep an eye out for opportunities like this. And so when this came up, I was like, oh my gosh, like what a cool thing to be a part of, and to edit. I don't know. You can tell I'm really nervous to edit. I'm just like, I don't know if I hope it's in good hands. Yeah.
No, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, you and Tom, you put yourself and Tom, and you already have the job done.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
That's great. That's great to know. Great to hear.
Wow. Yeah, so that's nice. And also I feel like when areas already see other areas, like they see tonsai and they see that it also can have bad effects, so maybe they can, they know beforehand, so they kind of even maybe are more smart, and
and like learn from it.
So
it's
that's
like
interesting.
It is. And also I feel like with climbing tourism specifically, though, climbers tend to be like buena onda, like good people. And I feel like
definitely
it's like a nice tourism to bring to an area. Like I'm not saying regular tourists aren't, but I just feel like there's more. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just feel climbing is so special. And of course we have our problems. We have our problem people, whatever. But I just think en masse, climbers are just such beautiful people too. And I think they really fit with that Thai culture. Like even here, like in Smith, I'll like pick up climbing hitchhikers, and like a friend was like, you can use my car if you don't have, like, I don't know, and I just met him like 2 days ago. You know what I mean? Like it's just like this really like trusting community for the most part. And I just feel like that really is something special to bring as far as ecotourism goes. And I know that other areas of Thailand also have like a broader appeal, but this is going to be pretty climbing specific. So it feels almost like good conscience of like bringing climbers to an area to represent the tourism, the world, right?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's as you say, like you always have the, by most it's like that. You always have some of the outside, but even like we've been to Margalef a couple of weeks ago, and it's amazing, and it was so packed. There were so many people, but still the vibe is nice. And you're like, always, I'm kind of like scared that it will go away. There are too many climbers. The vibe is changing. We're going to be surfing. I'm just kidding.
This is my way. This is my rock.
Exactly. But knock on wood, it's not. It's still like this. People are still great, and the vibe is still amazing and friendly, and it's amazing. So
I know, right? I had that worry too. I mean, I think everyone did, right? When the sport really boomed like a few years ago, like there was this huge boom. And I think I mean, I guess indoor climbing is also very different than outdoor climbing. And I think like if you're an outdoorsy person, you find outdoor climbing, I think there's like a certain level of like respect for nature and respect for others. And you know, I mean, not always, but just generally that comes with that territory. So I think as an outdoor climber and as an outdoor sport climber too, like not in necessarily, I don't know if it makes a difference. I don't know. I'm just kind of like word vomiting right now, but it's just like it does feel like there is
No,
like
no.
an
Yeah,
integrity that's kept with that kind of connection with nature and like being on the cliffside and meeting other like-minded people that care about nature and travel and people and like are on the road. Like I live out of my car a lot, you know, and like meeting other dirt bags is like there's like a certain connection you have. So I think that is something special that will stay no matter how big the sport grows. Like the people who choose to like live out of their cars and do the dirt bag thing like
yeah,
I did, it's like it's kind of cool. It's like that attracts a certain type of person, which is like very different than maybe the broader appeal of like climbing at large. So I think that also is impactful for like these areas, right? It's going to be the people who are traveling to climb into like that's also
exactly,
part of their journey with rock climbing.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, really true. So can we get like a bit of a like practicalities for people who are
Yeah.
listening and wanting to go climbing there? So let's say, yeah, so how would you go to Si Chompou? How do you get there?
Okay. So what we did was we ended up, well, okay, I guess we flew to Bangkok, but you can fly into Khon Kaen. And then from there, you can rent a car or mopeds. Like mopeds was really great
Really?
for Tom and I to get around because, well, it was fun. It was fun and like everything's really close once you get there, you know? But yeah, you can like rent a driver even to drive you to Si Chompou. And then from there, I think
Okay.
it depends because a lot of this trip, I will say, was organized like for me
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
for the group.
Yeah,
But what happened was we
yeah.
rented a car to take like a bus almost to take the whole crew to the like Si Chompou area. And then we stayed at the resort, which is just a bunch of like huts, I guess, with a shower and
Bungalows, yeah.
bathroom. Yeah, bungalows. And it was really nice because they actually just made it for our arrival. They were like,
Wow.
I know, right? So they had just made it. And
Yeah.
then the people who live there had like a few mopeds that we were able to use to zip around and find new crags and climb at new crags. And one of the crags, the resort wall, which is where Pretty in Pink is you can walk from that area. And there's
Okay.
camping with the Rose Gardener. She allows climbers to camp there too. So there's like multiple options now. And I would say you don't need transportation, but I would probably recommend it. I would, and it's not, it's very affordable there. And just having a moped like for two people is like pretty fun, pretty classic Thailand way to get around. I wouldn't like recommend that if it was like in a city because I feel like that can be really dangerous. I feel like a lot of tourists go to Bangkok and like rent a moped and it's just like maybe not the safest call. But here in the farm towns, it's like the best way to get around. It's like efficient, good for the environment kind of thing. Or a bike, you know, whatever you're like feeling. So logistically, that's what I would recommend. And then yeah, you can like call a driver to drive you back to Khon Kaen and boulder there. And there's like plenty of places to stay. That Khon Kaen, like the bouldering and the zoo, that area is a bit more well developed. So there are more options. You know, you can even go to a hotel. You know what I mean? Like you could just
Yeah.
it's like a bit more of a
Yeah, yeah,
city.
yeah.
Yeah.
Khon Kaen is like a proper city. No,
Yeah, and they've got
when I
dinosaur
checked, yeah.
bones.
Really.
Yeah, we went to see them. I was excited.
And
And hieroglyphs and stuff.
uh, nice. So okay, so you can fly into Khon Kaen
Fly into
basically
Khon
from
Kaen.
Bangkok.
Yeah,
And then yeah, and then if you're gonna sport climbing in Si Chompou, so you're probably gonna take a bus or something,
yeah,
or yeah, taxi to
yeah.
there. And then there are like, what can you paint a picture of Si Chompou? Like, what is it? How small it is?
It's small.
It's
I
small.
mean, but that's what's beautiful about it, right? So
Yes,
there's like shops in town to buy food, and there's like restaurants even. Like
there
one,
is.
one.
Okay.
We had like like the main center. We had people cooking. I don't know if it was from their house or not. I'm gonna say
Mhm.
that maybe it wasn't a restaurant. Maybe it was just like people like offering food from their house. But yeah, it's a really
Mhm.
small town. There's like a town center, um, and like you know like a gazebo type town center where you can actually see the boneyard, which is one of the climbing crags we went to. like you can like see all the climbing, and there's a bunch of like monasteries and temples that you can explore. It's a very small farm town, like lots of like sugar cane and rose gardens. And I think one of the this is not my story, but I think that if there are more climbers, one of the farmers said that they'd change the entrance of one of the crags to a rose garden instead of sugarcane, so the climbers could walk by all the
Ooh.
roses. It would be beautiful. It's like really sweet,
That would be
like
beautiful.
yeah, like they're like, oh, if more climbers come,
Yeah.
we'll change this plot to a rose garden, so you can walk by
Whoa.
like there's a trail, right? You don't have to walk through the roses or anything, but you'd like have roses on either side. It's like I don't know, it's like little things like that you just are like, it warms my heart. Yeah, really small town vibes. And the kids were so fun. Like the school is really close too, and we actually played like jump rope, and like it's not called jump rope, but like they have like a string that you jump over and they keep bringing it higher and higher. We like played the games with the kids, and I think some of our group plays soccer, and they played soccer with the kids in the field. It's just like kind of awesome. Yeah.
Immediately at home, kind of.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so basically, once you're there, like you can walk to a lot of the climbing areas.
Yeah, you can walk to like one, maybe like another one we're kind of working on developing, but I would say I think being on wheels is good for the area, if I'm being honest. Yeah, it's useful. I would not recommend not having wheels, I think.
Yeah. Okay. And normally, like I haven't been there, but normally in Thailand, you can like tuk-tuk or something you would have, or taxi.
Yeah, so this is such a small town that it's like uncertain what they would be. Yeah, but like people are so willing to help that you could like probably pay people and like have a conversation about like how that would work. But if people want more information, you should link in the Kohn Kaen Climbing Club website, because they have a ton of information and topos. And like Gabrielle, who's the main developer there, and Joey, they like are really good about like making sure if you're gonna go there, you're gonna have like, you know, everything set up. So I can send you that link, and then you can leave that there for more information, and you can even message them, like the Kohn Kaen Climbing Club on Instagram, or email them, and they're just so ready to help. So if you're interested at all, like it does not have to be like this difficult thing. It's like, oh, I'm really interested in going there, and like, great, this is where you can stay, this is what you blah blah blah, you know, like they'll have it all. So
nice. Okay, amazing. So we'll have that in the show notes, so that's really cool. And I think that's pretty much you won't have other climbers there, right, if you go like solo now?
I don't think that's like for now. I don't think that's it yet, but
I guess if you send to the local, to who you said, like on
that's what I'm saying,
stuff, they will come.
Exactly, because there is the Kohn Kaen Climbing Club, and there's people who go out there regularly. I just like wouldn't rely on it. It's not like it's not like that yet, but at the same time, if you want to go alone, like you'll figure it out. There will be people, and Gabrielle's always there. Literally, I'm like I would like say like going alone is just a bit like harder, but at the same time, like you'll find someone to climb. Like I don't think actually that would be a problem. I'm so excited. It's really cool. Just go. You'll figure it out.
To anyone in the situation at the moment, just go.
Just go.
It will be okay.
Awesome.
And your favorite sector, do you have one apart?
I would recommend the Boneyard.
Boneyard. Okay.
But there's so many I didn't even get. No, the window wall. I never even got to climb there because I was sick the day everyone climbed there. But apparently the window wall is beautiful and fun too. Which it's like a big window rock. Like I don't know. It's like apparently amazing, and I'm bummed I missed the last day. So I personally would recommend the Boneyard because that's all I got to climb, and I got sick, and then I developed. So the window wall also I hear is just like stunning. I saw all the footage from the window wall day, and I'm just like, oh. I'm like, oh my god, it's so pretty. Like, I can't believe I missed this day.
Wow. And how is the bolting? Because it's quite new, I would assume is like...
It's nice.
Approachable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially
not like Smith Rock.
Not like Smith Rock, no. Although I had to like catch myself, and I was like, oh, this is probably a good distance. And Tom's like, that's kind of run out. And I was like, oh, you're right. And I'm like, I'm not going to make this right now. Like, there's no need. It's just good bolting. Yeah, we're not trying to prove anything.
Yeah, that's good. And approaches, like
Easy.
generally?
Yeah, pretty easy, pretty short, like pretty much roadside. Just about all of them.
Oh,
like 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go soon.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Like
it's so
looking
good.
at
Yeah.
looking at Skyscanner as we speak.
Yeah. There's so many crags too. Like I didn't even get, like, I was only there a few weeks. Like I didn't even scratch the surface.
How about the guidebook? Do they have?
They have. I mean, it's up on 27 crags. I think 27 crags and maybe Mountain Project even.
Okay.
And maybe on their website they have topos. I think they have like the drawings. I don't know if they have a guidebook yet, but it's online and it's accessible.
Okay.
And there might be a guidebook for Kohn Kaen Bouldering. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I looked at that. I think they're at 27 crags as well.
Yeah, I think online you can find a lot. Because Gabriel's really good about updating online. Like as we were climbing it, he was marking in his little drawing book, like the climb, the grade, and he was like, I'm updating this on online. So if everything's up to date, like all of our new climbs are there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really nice. We didn't speak about one last thing which is important, and then I'll let you go.
When to visit.
When to visit. Okay, too. When to visit and and food. How like Thailand food is amazing.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay, so when to visit's easy. It's like, I guess, I mean, it's winter for the Northern Hemisphere. So yeah, it's like December, January, February. Yeah. I mean, like with some leeway on each month. I mean, it is a hot country, right? So even then it's like quite warm. It's very tropical. It's vacation climbing. But like at the same time, you kind of get used to it and then it's fine. So yeah. So definitely winter, I think. Winter and then in the shade. That's what those are like the walls were like bolting, like it's really nice to know when they hit the shade or how long they're in the shade for, because you don't want to be climbing in the sun like ever in Thailand. It's just like not the call.
Was that when you were there?
Yeah, January.
January? Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens at the other time of the year, like is it it's just hot. Unbearably hot or
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just really, really unbearably hot. I've heard. I mean, I haven't visited in the summer, but I think it's quite intense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So that's the climbing season is winter.
Yeah.
And the food is delicious. Like some of it, I will say, I did not like because it's so strong. Like the flavors were really like bitter. It's like some of the like really local dishes.
Yes.
They were an acquired taste, I think, and I just did not have that taste acquired yet. But like obviously Thai food is so delicious. You have like
it's amazing.
Tom yum, what is that lamb dish called? There was like so much good food, and like they had like fish, like these delicious, like just like big platters of fish and different animals. I had different things. It was so interesting. But yeah, like you have your classic foods like pad thai, tom yum. My mind is not thinking of the dish that I really like. It was like kind of like minty almost. I don't know. And then they have like the egg omelet for breakfast. Like they have a lot of like delicious food that I think like Westerners will really enjoy. And then they also have just like foods just to try. Like I mean that's probably pretty like known, like in Bangkok even you have like the scorpion, you know what I mean, like you have like interesting dishes. Yeah, so that's pretty consistent too. You have like interesting leaves to try and you're like, whoa, that's bitter, or like whoa, that's an interesting flavor. So I think it like is really exciting as far as food goes, because you have like your classic delicious Thai food, but also you can kind of get crazy with it. You can experiment and have fun just like trying these new flavors that like my palate, I had never tasted anything like these plants before. I was like, whoa. And Tom and I kept like going back for him, like, eat this one. He's like, no. He's like, okay. So he's like, whoa. And he's like, wait, eat this one. And I'm like, whoa. And we were just like, it was so fun. And a bunch of like random drinks. Like we got mochas. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Banlu's mom, the one that says like the mom of the trip, she like brought us mochas one work day. because I was editing the Smith video at night
over there.
during that trip. So like I spend the day filming the documentary and climbing and developing, and then at nights I would stay up a few hours just like editing. It's kind of full on, but it was good. So like she would bring
Wow,
us like
yeah,
little mochas, and it
sounds
was
like that.
nice. Yeah. Mhm.
Nice. Do they have Wi-Fi?
Yeah, it's like good, really good reception. I don't know about Wi-Fi. Is it Wi-Fi or did I just use my plan? Because they have like they have really good service everywhere. Like if you get an eSIM, I had an eSIM, so I'm like not remembering if they had Wi-Fi or if I just had an eSIM. But I would really recommend getting a SIM card or an eSIM, because like they have connection pretty much everywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know. That's what
So then you
it's
can
like
work.
better than who like he's from Kohn Kaen, but also he lives in Germany now. He was saying like the reception's better in Si Chompou than in Germany. He was like talking shit on the reception in Germany. I was like, whoa, really? So yeah, I was working. I mean, Tom also works. I mean, you know, Tom has like all of his business and stuff. He had to work, so we had like
Yeah,
work days, and it was totally fine. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Wow, that's actually good to know.
Mhm.
Really cool. And the restaurants and the food you're mentioning, it's in Si Chompou. So once
So
you're there, you're good.
maybe not in Si Chompou. Definitely in Kohn Kaen. In Si Chompou, I'm thinking maybe the villagers. Just I thought there
Cool,
was
cool.
one restaurant because we were a big group, so we had like catering, right? So we
Yes.
had that
Okay.
happen, and I'm not sure if it was like someone who
Yeah.
owns the restaurant who was also making us food, or if they just took that job on while we were there, and we
Yeah.
obviously we paid them. So like it's just like creating job opportunities as well. But there are food options, and you can have
Yeah.
that. Yeah. I don't want to
Okay.
like speak super. I'm like I didn't really plan that part of it. But like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if there's definitely places to buy food. Basically,
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
sure what the technical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And yeah, you have anything else like to add?
Oh my
Probably no.
gosh. If you haven't been to Thailand, like definitely put it on your list. It's so magical. And like if you're hesitant about going here because it feels a bit more like off the beaten path and it's like nerve-wracking to you, I would say like there is no experience like really fully immersing yourself in a culture and like being in a small village. And like I don't know, there's just so much growth and excitement and like learning to be had like on both sides. Like I don't know, the experience is just so magical to really like yeah, immerse yourself in someone else's culture rather than just visit as a tourist. And like obviously what we're trying to create is like a more friendly, approachable tourist like situation, but at the same time it is a really small town and like it has to start somewhere. And I just think that experience is like it was so unique and lovely and I feel so lucky to have gotten that. So for anyone, yeah, who's like nervous about logistics or these things, it's like things work out. Travel is always worth it. So if you are visiting Thailand, especially if you're like coming from the States and you're already like flying 17 hours to come visit, like definitely at least consider putting this small town on the map. And like even if it's just for a few days, I think like you will not be disappointed. There's some beautiful places to like climb and explore. Like it's just gorgeous. It's like one of the most beautiful places. Just the mountains, you know what I mean? Like you're in nature and you're living
Yeah.
there. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, and I think even I would add like probably go now because like in probably in a couple of years it would still be off the beaten track, but now is probably really special. It's
it,
like
it
what you say.
felt so special. Like yeah, it was the best like experience ever. Like one of the best travel experiences of my life. And I've like traveled quite a bit. Like I think that's my 17th country that I've lived in or like visited. So I've done quite a bit now. And I was like, there's just something that is so special about that specific area. And Tom will agree. Like Tom is just like there were multiple days where he was just like, we went up to the top of the temple that's like it's built in the mountain. So we'd like climb up all the stairs to the top of the temple to watch the sunset. And he was just like, I think this is the most beautiful sight I've ever seen. And I'm like, you said that yesterday. He's like,
Wow.
yeah. And like every day he was just like, I think this is the most beautiful area in the world. He's like, I think this is the most beautiful place I've ever seen. And you know, Tom, like
Wow.
he's visited
Yeah.
everywhere. Like he's traveled the world as
Yes.
well, and he's just like, this must be the most magical place I've ever seen.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I was yeah, I agree. The sunsets were just perfect up at the top of the mountain in the monks' like temple, like just on the balcony, just watching the sunset.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
I wanna be there now.
yeah. Oh, I'm just like imagining it too, like all like the fields, like the sugarcane and roses and rice fields, and you're just like all the houses on stilts, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like
Wow.
that's it. I think that's
Very
what I have to
nice.
say. I mean, I could talk about it for
Yeah,
hours,
yeah.
obviously, but yeah, that's
That's
a
very
good
nice
place to end it.
to finish off. Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
Anna,
you for
for
having me.
sharing that experience and everything. I think it's awesome. I loved the conversation and all the story. And like, you have an expectation for the documentary at all?
Like time wise, or
Yeah.
like when it's gonna.
When it never mind.
It might be a few months.
When
It might
yeah,
take
yeah,
a
yeah.
while. I want to do it well,
When
and yeah,
whenever it will be out, then yeah, for sure I'll be waiting and I'll be sharing.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. I just
yeah,
don't know yet.
yeah,
I also have to upkeep my YouTube, so of course, like
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of work.
yeah, but it's exciting, and hopefully not too much longer. Like hopefully I'll just like it'll just be like a few months or so. Like yeah,
Yeah, nice. So really cool. Thank you so much. It was amazing. Keep crushing in Smith. And
yeah,
yeah, if you come to Spain, send a message.
yeah, will
Can
do.
plan.
Okay, thanks for having me. Bye.
Cool. Thank you. Bye bye, Anna. Hello again. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this awesome conversation with Anna and you're already psyched to go and check that place out. Such a great place, it looks like. So, yeah, as always, make sure to check the show notes on the website, on Instagram, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye bye.